Sup fam, welcome back to Joint Minds. It's your host, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm John.
And today we're going to be discussing social media and its impacts on society, how it affects all of us in terms of our mental health, our production, and what it actually contributes to society. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please do us a favor, like, comment, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And be sure to make sure while you're down there, subscribe for more of our content. And if you guys are going to dislike the video, at least make sure you haters are talking shit in the comments below.
All right, so dude, this week I want to talk to you about social media.
Okay.
I want to know, because it's been around for so long, and now we actually have like a means to look back on like the social media. How do you feel it's impacted our generation and like even like newer generations and older generations?
Oh man, the way how social media has impacted our generations, that's such a tough question to like answer, because it's like there's the mental health aspect of like social media and like what it does to you like with your mental health, but there's also like the advantages of social media and like the internet like overall, and then there's like it affects everyone differently too. Like it affects older and younger people like way differently. So I feel like that's kind of like weird to talk about, but I think overall it's addicting to like everybody.
No, yeah,
like,
that's for sure.
Yeah, like
it's addicting. People spend so much of their days on social media.
Yeah, dude, like I spend not like I spend like a lot of time on Instagram, but like just when I do see my view like screen time on like Instagram, it bothers me that like even just like more than an hour like goes like towards that shit, dude. Just because it's like, think about it, you spent an hour just looking at like pictures like on your phone that like don't really do shit.
But it's crazy though, like to think about, like you just did that, but like it's
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
It's crazy because it's made to be addicting, and it plays like on your like on like your biological factors to like make it so you keep coming back.
Yeah, that's very true, because like it's literally, they use color schemes and like color patterns and like notifications and sounds, and they do tests and shit to figure out which ones like get the most positive responses and like create the longest like watch time and stuff, you know. Like companies will like put data or like put money into research to see like what color schemes like get people to stay like on the website the longest. Like that's why Facebook is blue, is they found that like the blue color like keeps people awake. So that's why a lot of people are like on their phones at night, like on Facebook and stuff. And it also keeps people like engaged like the longest because it's like super easy to look at, you know?
No, yeah, and they also like kind of like play on it and like from the biological factor by because if you look at a lot of like addictive substances, they generally give you a dopamine kick in some way, shape, or form. And they found alcohol, drugs, gambling, like those are like some of like the three biggest like addictive things around, like that people have problems with. And they found a way to get you a dopamine kick through the use of social media. They're like they've like done like little things to like send you notifications every so often to show like people like tag you in something or they like your photo, because it gives you that little dopamine kick and it keeps you coming back for more because it gives you some form of gratification. Yeah,
exactly. And like it's really, you know, like they really have like figured out like the way that like they do like sending like the notifications and stuff, and it kind of like pisses me off, especially Snapchat, because it's like I don't really use Snapchat like at all, dude, but I have it on my phone. But those fuckers send me notifications that people who I don't give two fucks about posted on their story. You know what I mean? Just that they posted on their story, and it'll show up that I have two notifications like on the app, and like they use the color red for like their notification like number, because that color looks like irritating to people, so they're bound to like click on the app. And then them clicking on the app gets rid of that notification, but that also just gets them on the app, which makes them money, you know?
You know, that's actually kind of crazy. I didn't even think about the fact that why it's red. But like, when you explained it right now, it made so much sense. Like the reason why I hate those, like, seeing those numbers is because like it just bothers me.
Yeah,
like,
it bothers you seeing that color red, so they want you to click on it to get rid of it, which will get you on the app, which just gets them money because advertisers are paying for how much watch time is put onto those as how much just watch time is on the app. You know, how many people click on the ads, how many people are viewing the stories and all that bullshit. You know.
Damn.
So, like, coming back to, like, what you said earlier about, like, social media has created, a system, like, where people can just get their gratification. Like, I feel like social media has really created a problem with people being able to just get instant gratification for, like, anything, you know, because they are able to filter and edit their pictures and, like, everything to, like, post, like, their best selves. So, like, people are always going to get more likes when they, like, post a picture of them, their best selves versus, like, a no filter or something. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and it kind of, like, plays into, like, day-to-day life with, like, motivation to get tasks done or things done because you're so used to being able to have something very easy to give you that dopamine kick. You're not like taking out the trash feels like it's so much effort sometimes just because you can get it doesn't give you any gratification and you have to do so much more work than just opening your phone and opening up an app.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just gotta get some gratification. You just gotta, you know, double click or just scroll and see a funny meme or something. You know what I mean? Like that's like its own form of like dopamine kick, you know, like that like instant gratification of like comedy and all that stuff. But it's like having such like instant gratification and like being able to post like your best self like all the time also, like I feel like it also creates a problem of like people being perfectionists and not being able to like grind through when things are like hard, you know. And
no,
it's
I
like,
got it. Okay, I'll continue.
It's like created like a problem with like I feel like in terms of like entrepreneurship kind of like because people just see people living glamorous lives, and so then because people just post their best selves all the time on social media and they never post like when they're like really struggling, and even if they do post when they're struggling they still glamorize it, you know, like, oh, it's okay to struggle, look how great struggling is, you know what I mean, when it's like struggling fucking sucks, you know, like, yeah, have a positive attitude about it, but it's like it's not like great, you know, so it's like still like makes their life look glamorous. So like they post like their best selves like all the time, and that creates a negative impact on how people view themselves, and that kind of to me discourages like people's like ability to kind of start doing things because they assume they have to be perfect right from the get-go. You know what I mean?
I kind of see what you're saying. No, yeah, because it creates like a societal standard essentially.
Yeah,
it makes everybody kind of like has to look up to and be like, oh damn, look at like how perfect all these people's lives are, but in reality like you don't know what their life actually is because you're only seeing like a 10-second thing of them each day.
Yeah, right, exactly. You're only seeing them when they're done up and like they have their makeup done and you know, they just got done working out, so all their muscles are showing, you know, they haven't drank any water or something, so like they're super lean, like, and it's, you know, first thing in the morning or something, you know, so they're looking their best selves. And people post their best selves and their accomplishments, but people never post like their failures. So people like assume if they have like any failures that they're like doing something wrong or that they're bad or they're not cut out for certain things, you know?
Yeah, and it's like kind of like society, that's how like society's subconsciously created this certain standard that everybody feels like they have to meet by a certain age because they see XYZ influencer doing something on Instagram when in reality it's like
they're
that brief moment, you know.
Yeah, they're not only that, they're like 1 in a million, you know what I mean? Like most of those influencers who you see, like 21-year-olds who like bought a house, like $1 million house or whatever, like they're like 1 in a million who like had some luck and like good fortune that like helped them like get there. Like, you know, it always takes a little bit. Like, yeah, like they probably had some hard work and like some hustle, but it's like that's not like everyone's situation, and it doesn't have to be your situation, you know?
Yeah, because you just want to take your own path through life. Everybody's like different. Everybody's born into different circumstances.
Right? Yeah,
and
dude.
It's like you can't expect me to be successful at XYZ age versus another person, because we might have gone through different challenges, might have had different opportunities, maybe worked harder at different times, you know, or there's so many different things that can change.
Yeah,
we've
all
where you're at in life.
We've all like seen like our own like fair share of struggles, you know what I mean? And like everyone's like story is like different from like the others, and it's like I don't know like whether or not my story is like harder than like yours or like the next person's or anything, but it's like to set like social media has put like you said, such a standard on like when like you're supposed to have certain things like done. And like it's kind of like that hustle culture, you know? And it's like, yeah, like everyone should hustle and like, you know, like get their grind on and like make their money. But it's like to expect these things at like a certain age like causes like huge mental health issues. And I think that's like the real impact that I think that's probably the biggest impact that social media has had on like our generation, Gen Z, and like even older generations, like I've noticed, honestly.
No, yeah, I mean, there's literally statistics showing like how much higher suicide rates have gone in the younger ages because of when the introduction of social media was relevant.
Yeah,
and it's kind of crazy how the numbers spiked like so exponentially.
Yeah,
and how depressed people are, the kids are, because they don't really actually have a real grasp on life yet. They don't understand what's actually realistic, and they feel like they have to meet these certain standards that are just not humanly possible to maintain.
Yeah, right, exactly. And like even like really young kids, like they see like some of these really young influencers or like just influencers who have kids, so they see their kids like living these glamorous lives, and they kind of think that they're supposed to be living those lives too. And that like creates like a huge like swirl of depression in like the younger generations and stuff, you know? And like it's created like, and not just with the not just like suicide rates, but just overall depression and like society like a happiness rates, like surveys on like the country's happiness, like how happy people are, have gone down like with the introduction of social media, you know? Like there's just so much like data and like proof out there that just shows that like social media is so like bad for you, like in terms of like what it like does for your mental health. But I feel like that's also kind of like because of what people choose to follow, you know?
So why do you feel like what do you think is the reason for why our mental health is like becoming like worse, besides like the dopamine? Or do you feel like it's the only reason is like the dopamine, the instant gratification that we can get from social media?
I feel like there's a few problems with it. Like I feel like certain algorithms have been kind of built to show you the things that give you instant gratification more than the things that would actually be helpful towards your life, you know? Like a picture of a girl in a bikini that gets like 1 million likes is probably going to get pushed to you first before a picture of a how to start a business tutorial is going to get, with 1 million likes, is going to get pushed to you first. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I mean that's because of how much people actually want to see this type of content.
But the thing is they still both had 1 million likes.
Oh, really?
That's like what I said. Like it's like there's just like Instagram like algorithm, like people like who have like studied this like show that like just pictures of like people and stuff automatically like, and like influencers like get pushed like more because they pay for like the advertising for like merchandise and stuff, you know? So it's like
you're saying because they paid for it, then that's what you're saying.
Well, it's not just like because they paid for it, but their pictures, like even if it's not an advertised picture or something, will get pushed more because that user is more likely to pay for ads.
Oh, I see. Because they're willing to pay for ads on their own.
Yeah,
for their own platform.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're willing to put theirs up. Okay.
Yeah, so they're willing to pay for ads for like merchandise and like, you know, just promote their social media. Whereas like, you know how there's those like niche like business like kind of like things on like Instagram, like those like motivational like pages and, you know, like dog pages and like all those stuff. Those things are less likely to like pay for like advertising, so they're less likely to get pushed. So like those like, so like that part of the algorithm has kind of created like a negative like health impact because it's pushing things that are negatively like impacting us and like how we should view ourselves, you know?
But doesn't the algorithm also have to take into account the type of content that the viewer wants to see? So, as like, wouldn't that just us be doing the damage to ourselves? Because if we can get the word out to other people, like, hey, like if you want to be happier, look at things that'll make your life better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, how do you get people out of that trap?